who do we want to see on podium?
Who do you want to see on podium, Catherine?
Well, listen.
Ask yourself.
The person I want to see on podium.
Okay, that's not
on podium every week.
You can leave. Literally leave.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Grid Gals. We're in episode 21 today, recapping our predictions for the 2022 season.
I can't believe we're already on episode 21.
And I can't believe we're already halfway through the season.
It's been already a pretty crazy season. I'm very interested to revisit our predictions because I think some of them were spot on and a lot of them were not. But, you know, that's the fun, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and again, as I said on the predictions episode, I like to hedge my bets, right? I'm either right or I'm happy, but I'm not both. So I'm wrong, but I'm happy, you know, in terms of the season and the performance of my team. I remember I really kind of did not have a lot of faith in Ferrari.
Yeah, I was acting more like a Ferrari fan that episode.
Jack's always been a better Ferrari.
Jack is a closet Ferrari fan. Don't let the McLaren hat fool you.
I love my man Carlos Sainz. He is definitely my number 2 driver for sure.
Okay, but where's Leclerc? Because I feel like you kind of like Leclerc too.
He's grown on me, especially after this season. I just, there's a lot of other drivers that I like more. I think that Leclerc is good at going quick. When he's in a good car, and there is a lot of talent there. I just think there are other drivers that are a little bit more skilled.
Okay, but I feel like we do have a closeted Leclerc fan at the table, and maybe it's just because he's been doing well and winning and someone loves winners. But there were a couple of times where we were watching F1 content, whether it was on Instagram or the TV for a race, and Catherine would look over at me and be like, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah,
it might be the winners, but also I try to root for your guys' teams too, in hopes that one day Jack will also root for Red Bull.
She'll root for Checo.
I do love Checo. Just Max. I can't get behind the Max train.
That's all right. We got half a season to go.
Before we get into it, though, I do want to bring up what was going on in the world of F1 this week. Daniel Ricciardo had an Instagram post, which, to his story, a long line of text. So when I was clicking through his stories this week, I had to stop and I was like, okay, this is going to be good. You know, whenever anyone is posting a full text story, something is being admitted or something's gone down. So he was just stating very clearly that he will be staying at McLaren. He wanted fans to know, from his point of view, wanted to squash all rumors that he has every intention of staying with McLaren. He has a contract through the end of next year, and there is no current plans to change that. So I thought that was very interesting.
Well, and I feel like this is right up there with, like, the Notes apology app, you know, as, like, a new medium of our time. I feel like the long text Instagram story typically has been dominated by girls that are, like, getting cheated on by their boyfriends and staying with them.
Yep.
And so I feel like it's always, like, emotionally charged situations.
I did not know that was a category.
But think about it. It's where, like, you're coming out and you're saying, like, I mean, Daniel's like, look, like, I'm not being dropped. Like, I am still part of this team. I have every intention of continuing. I feel like the only other people who come out with that type of energy are girls who are like,
I'm not being dropped.
I'm still part of this team. You know? They're like, yeah, maybe there were some instances of less than stellar performance. However, we're a team here. Like, think about when you've seen a post like that. It's always a girl who's gotten cheated on, or Daniel Ricciardo.
I love that we're grouping him into this.
That's fair, though, because I think the team, McLaren, just picked up a new driver.
Yeah, they just picked up a new American driver, actually. That just was continuing to feed the rumor mill, but...
So this category is perfect for him, I think.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It, like, matches the energy perfectly, because isn't the new American guy from IndyCar?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's perfect because this new American driver from IndyCar Like, McLaren's reading the writing on the wall. F1 is getting big with Americans. They're clearly, whether or not, you know, it sounds like they can't push Daniel out, and I think that's what Daniel's post basically said, but they're playing the long game in terms of cementing themselves with the American fan base. And I think strategically, very smart.
I feel like a lot of American fans are McLaren fans, and so they're really leaning into that strategy, and I think that's very smart for the long game because, I mean, America is going to continue to jump on the F1 train. I think the fan base here will only grow, and they're really trying to make sure that they cement themselves as the American team outside of our our true American team.
Our Haas boys.
Our Haas boys. And I've just seen some fire memes about, you know, the summertime when girls want to get on a boat?
Oh my gosh. I've seen these two. These are hilarious.
And we've shown this in the past, but...
Is this Gunther Steiner's boat photo shoot that you're referencing?
So Gunther Steiner, they keep bringing up the photo where he's posing in front of the boat. They're like, when girls are trying to get on a boat, and like the guy with the boat, and it's hysterical.
They don't say what type of boat it is, and then it's like
it's like a canoe.
This tiny boat,
this tiny wooden boat. Like Gunther just like knee down, sitting next to it, like amazing.
Which is also like such a Chicago thing. Trying to get on a boat in Chicago in the summer. This is my 6th summer here, and I've never been on a boat, with the exception of the water taxi. And if you live here in Chicago, it's the cheapest way to get on a boat in the summer, $6. That's all I'm saying.
Out on Lake Michigan?
No, it was in the river. I did it yesterday. It was fun. Anyway, well, I think it's interesting that all of the talk is about dropping Daniel, because I genuinely feel like a big chunk of McLaren's American fan base are McLaren fans because of Daniel.
Yeah, it's absolutely that. And he has a lot of friends. I mean, he has a permanent residence in LA. We talked about this last week. He has signed on to do a deal with Hulu to produce a show that's about Formula One, which I'm very excited to see how that turns out. But yeah, he has a lot of popular friends who are very prevalent in America, so it makes sense that a lot of fans have jumped on the McLaren train.
I'm trying to think of other big F1 news. Oh, Catherine, your flexi floors. You had sent me a video that was kind of breaking it down, and they were talking about how there is a board on the bottom of the car that scrapes, and one of the things the FIA does is measure the degradation of that board in order to see how teams are complying with the regulations.
Right, but they only measure one spot of the board.
Yeah.
So what the teams were doing is having the...
It was like split.
Yeah.
So the front part where the FIA measures would not flex.
Right.
And so it would not scrape against the bottom of the ground, and there would still be enough to pass the FIA's muster when they did measure. But the back half of the board, somehow they engineered it that would flex more where the measurements were not being taken, and give them, like you were saying, that downforce advantage.
I don't even feel like that's illegal, though. You know, like, that's just working around regulations like people do every day in any type of role.
Well, and I think it's one of those things until the FIA changes the regulations to say, like, okay, then we're going to measure in, like, 3 spots all across the board. Like,
sure.
I mean, I think it's innocent until proven guilty, right? Like,
yeah. But also there's a lot of back and forth about the FAA even changing regulations mid-season, because we are directly in the middle of the season, and for them to change it now means a lot of people have to change their cars, and which includes Red Bull probably, but I've heard a lot from McLaren too.
Ferrari actually was the only team that really confirmed that they would have to make engineering changes in order to come into compliance should that regulation change.
Right. Which could really shake up the season if they end up doing this then.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to revisit our predictions now at the halfway point, but we still have so much more to go.
We should probably dive into our Drivers' Championship at least.
Yeah, so I would like to preface with, before we started recording, Catherine was like, we should score ourselves. And we should make it a challenge and a competition. Because, you know, we're competitive gals. And the way we broke it down was similar to a qualifying, where we had Q3 essentially, your bottom 5 spots, Q2, the next 2 5 spots, and then we know that Q1 is 10 spots, so in order to break that up, we had top 3 podium finishes. And if you got the person in that category, right? You didn't have to have them in the right place, but in that right category, you got 1 point. And so of the 19, because we did have a driver switch, none of us correctly predicted Magnussen, because when we did this, he was not on the grid. It was Mazepin. And what an upgrade. Let me just say.
Absolutely. Positive upgrade for Haas.
I cannot imagine watching Mazepin this whole season. That would have been just...
I mean, you wouldn't see Mazepin.
It's so true.
They never show those last cars.
So, maybe we'll do a little breakdown of how we ended up and we'll chat through it. But we should maybe just go around the table and say that our scores. How many of 19 did we get correct? Jack, you want to go first?
What do they say? Best for first?
Sure.
It's totally how that goes.
Okay, so I got 8 of the 19 correct. And we'll get into the reasons there, but 8 out of 19, I think it was pretty solid, given some of our spicy predictions here at the beginning of the season.
I'm pretty shocked that I got 8 out of 19.
Okay.
Did you say that you wanted to make it a challenge because you genuinely thought you were going to win?
Well, I already knew. Like, I knew what my predictions were, but I honestly thought, like, yours would be the worst.
Spoiler alert, I'm the best. I got 11 out of 19. Bing bong.
You hate to see it.
Okay,
I
haters.
just like to say that I was a better Ferrari supporter during this entire experience, so.
Like I said, I'm either right or I'm happy. And I'm happy.
I guess she's right and happy.
I think so.
Well, I'm right on a lot of other things. Not my Ferraris. My Ferraris actually screwed with me. And so did my, like, apparently disproportionate amount of faith in Aston Martin. That one really bit me in the ass. But, you know.
Yeah.
Let's read the results as they stand today before we dive in too deep.
Sure. So starting with 21, since we did have a substitute driver this season, is Nico Hulkenberg, who is also tied for points with 20th, which is Nicholas Latifi with Williams.
And how many points is that?
That'll be 0 for both of them.
Latifi.
All right. Okay, if this were golf, my man Latifi would be doing stellar.
Your man? Okay.
He's on the Latifi train.
Oh my god.
Okay, so 19th we have Stroll with Aston Martin. 18th we have Albon with Williams. In 17th we have Zhou with Alfa Romeo. 16th we have Yuki with AlphaTauri. 15th we have Schumacher with Haas. 14th we have Vettel with Aston Martin. 13th we have Gasly with AlphaTauri. 12th we have Ricciardo with McLaren. 11th we have Magnussen with Haas. 10th we have Alonso with Alpine. 9th we have Bottas with Alfa Romeo. 8th we have Ocon with Alpine. 7th we have Norris with McLaren. 6th we have Hamilton with Mercedes. 5th we have Russell with Mercedes. 4th we have Sainz with Ferrari. And then our podium finishers, Perez with Red Bull, Leclerc with Ferrari, and Verstappen with Red Bull.
You know, before we dive into our initial thoughts on it, I just want to say I put Stroll low. I put him at 17th, and boy, does it feel good to see him sitting down at 19. All I want to say is I got a lot of shit for that in the first predictions episode, and I'm happy that even I
was going to say, is this one instance where you're actually happy to be wrong? He's doing literally worse than you predicted. He's
doing literally worse, and cheers, that's incredible.
Where did you put Stroll with your Aston Martin support?
I put Stroll at 8. I really thought Daddy Stroll's money was going to make a bigger difference. Guys, like I said, I had Aston Martin as 3rd in the constructors. We'll get to constructors later, but boo-boo the fool over here.
You know what they say, money can't buy everything.
I didn't think it was going to buy everything. I thought they were going to cheat more. Honestly, I mean, they were the pink Mercedes when they were Racing Point. I really thought they were going to cheat more. And I thought they were going to do it till they got caught and performed pretty well.
Well, they did call the green Red Bull this season, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even panning out. If you're going to cheat better.
That's fair.
You hate to see it.
I mean,
I love to see it.
I don't love Aston Martin. I just love Sebastian Vettel, okay?
Very fair.
And where did you put?
I put Vettel at 5, and he's at 14th. So, been knocked down a peg or two, but...
If we redo predictions the rest of the season, are you going to drop them?
Oh, obviously. Obviously. No, again, this was preseason, just like hopes and dreams, pure wish list item.
I think the Mercedes messed up my grid the most.
Really? I had them pretty close, spot on. I had Lewis at 4th, which he is in 6th. And then I had Russell at 6th. So I had them pretty spot on.
You really did. And I think we kind of maybe gave you a little bit of shit for that because we were like, are you kidding me? It's Mercedes. I had Russell at 4th and Hamilton at 2nd.
But that's because she put her McLarens up there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
She put Ferrari up there.
And
I did. I put Carlos up there.
Where'd you put Carlos?
He's at third. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's spot on. Well,
I did think Norris would do better then.
I didn't think that it was a little bit of a pipe dream putting him at first, but I wanted to pick someone that wasn't going to be Max or Lewis. And I didn't play the same game as Mary. I picked someone on my team because I wanted it to be, fun for the season. And it's not like I picked Ricardo to be first. Like, that would have been a little bit too much favoritism. I put him at 5th, Ricardo at 5th, which, if we were to redo our predictions, I would likely drop him. I think that he can do...
likely? That's not a guaranteed?
No, I won't drop him all the way down to... He's sitting at 12th right now. I think that he can get up into, 9th or 10th.
For the record, I got that spot on. I put Ricardo in 12th. And
I
took a lot of shit for that.
We gave you a lot. We gave you a lot.
And guess what? I was right. I was pretty close with Gasly as well. I was really bummed because I was close with Alonso, but I didn't put Ocon nearly as far up. If I redid this, honestly, the Alpines have been having a great season and would definitely bump Ocon up. I've had him on my fantasy a couple weeks, and he's put in some work.
Yeah, Ocon's the other person that really messed this up for me because I have him at the 12th on my grid, but he's actually 8th.
I had him at 14th.
I had him in the top 10.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I had him at 10th. I had him a little bit worse than he's panning out now, but overall, Alpine,
Pretty close.
I had them, Alpine, I did not have a lot of faith in them, and that's probably my least spot-on prediction.
Wait, where's Norris right now?
Norris is 7th.
I got that one spot on, too.
Really?
I got my McLarens spot on, 7 and 12.
That's impressive, honestly.
And that's from the Ferrari gal, not the McLaren girl. What?
How
How funny.
Switch.
Yeah, we do.
We just need to switch, honestly, at this point.
Well, I look terrible in papaya, so I'm going to stick with red.
This mint green would look good on you.
The mint is very cute. I love that hat.
I just look terrible in red. I can't do it. So the color schemes don't work. We can't switch.
Ride or die.
Yeah, I think Alpine might be the most surprising because they're actually fighting for 4th in the constructors right now with McLaren.
Yeah, they're having a very strong... I would say they're the strongest of the midfield.
Should I go ahead and read the constructors?
Yeah. Let's go through those.
All right, so current constructor standings. Williams in 10th. We have Aston Martin in 9th. 8th, we have AlphaTauri. 7th, we have Haas. 6th, we have Alfa Romeo. 5th, we have Alpine. 4th, we have McLaren. 3rd, we have Mercedes. 2nd, we have Ferrari. And 1st, we have Red Bull. And I will point out that McLaren and Alpine are tied for points right now. They have 81 points each. So I don't really know how they actually determine 4th versus 5th if you're tied for points, but that's the way F1 has it ranked right now.
Interesting. The only ones I actually got right were my little sandwiches of Red Bull in first and Williams in last. I actually have McLaren and Alpine neck and neck in 5th. But again, I don't understand how F1, if they have the same amount of points, puts one above the other. Interesting.
I got McLaren and Alpine correct, 4th, 5th, and then Alfa Romeo 6th. Otherwise, I should have put more faith in Red Bull.
Yeah.
You absolutely should have.
Wait, was your top constructor Mercedes?
They've won 8 times in a row now.
I did the same thing, and this was a last-minute switch, and I'm bitter about it because I had Ferrari in first, which they were in first for a while. So I'm a little bit upset with myself that I switched it, but I did not have faith in Red Bull, which makes sense given my MO usually on this podcast. I had the top, I had Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull as the top 4. And so they're all in the top 4. They're just shuffled around. I didn't have the right order.
Right.
I did get Williams right. I think the one that we all predicted wrong was Haas, honestly.
Yeah.
We were really set on Haas not continuing to do well.
Right.
We thought they were going to do better than Williams, but we were very set on them. And granted, at the time, we did not know that they had Magnussen.
Yeah, I was going to say,
fair.
that's a huge... If they had Mazepin still, I do think they would be, like, neck and neck with Williams fighting for last. I think Magnussen has brought a huge, new, and good energy to the team. And Schumacher, he's really stepped up this year.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have put them much further up, though. I wouldn't have put them in 7th. I might have maybe put them in 8th. But, yeah, and I'm excited. I think there's still a lot of good momentum on the team going forward.
It's the home team. You got to root for him.
Steiner still holds a special place in my heart, so.
You do weirdly love Gunther.
It's Drive to Survive.
He's a character.
Yeah.
He
You gotta love him.
Yeah.
They make him incredibly lovable.
They do. He is kind of a celebrity now. I listened to his Beyond the Grid episode. It's really funny.
I need to listen to that still.
What other predictions did we have?
I think the big one that we had was we were saying between 7 and 8 of the teams making it on the podium this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had, 5 teams on the podium?
4,
4
mm-hmm.
so far?
Yeah, we've had Red Bull, Mercedes,
Ferrari,
McLaren. Because Norris got on the podium in Italy.
We have not had an Alpine yet.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. I do think that at least by the end of the season, we'll solidly have 5. I can see Alpine getting on the podium.
For sure.
But I'm not sure if we're going to make it all the way to 8. I think the top teams are starting to pull away from the midfield enough that I think the top midfield teams can still make it on the podium.
We get a weird race.
That's true.
We could see McLaren up there.
But McLaren's already been up there, so that wouldn't help with more
right.
teams. Honestly, AlphaTauri has been a bit disappointing this
Really
season.
disappointing.
Yeah. The Aston Martins, wow. We really don't need to go into it. I had him at 3rd in the constructors, and oh boy, that was easily my worst prediction. But
I think if Alfa Romeo got their shit together, we could see Bottas. And I'll even put Zhou Guanyu out there.
I think we would see Haas on the podium before I think we'd see Alfa Romeo.
I'm marking that down as a new prediction for you.
It's kind of a hot take.
It is a hot take.
But, we've had, they've finished 5th or 6th in a couple of races. Not too far outside the realm of possibility. I don't know what the highest finish has been for either Bottas or Zhou, but I don't think it's been that high.
Well, Bottas was doing so well at the beginning of the season. Because he was beating Hamilton, every race for the first couple races.
Which, again, another prediction that I had made.
So true.
That I thought would be really funny, and I had a lot of doubt in myself for making that prediction, so I didn't actually put it on my grid, but I really selfishly wanted to put Bottas higher because I really wanted to see him beat Hamilton, and he was there at the beginning of the season, which made the beginning of the season so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just struggled with so many car issues that I would be surprised to see them on the podium.
Yeah. It's a Ferrari engine.
Mm-hmm. I really want to see Haas on the podium. That would be so fun. I really want to see them do it. I don't know if it's in the realm of possibility, but if the stars align, there's just the right amount of DNFs, something crazy happens to some of the top teams' cars, I could see it happening. And I really do think it's going to be Magnussen. I don't think Schumacher quite yet.
Yeah, that's fair. And I definitely think it's within the realm of possibility. Because, again, Haas also has a Ferrari engine. Mm-hmm. I understand there's still reliability concerns, but I just feel like Alfa Romeo has not done as well adapting to them. Which is sad, because we love Bottas.
I really want to see Yuki do better. Maybe this new investment in his mental health will help. I don't know. But I really did think that Yuki was going to do better than he has done. I had him all the way up in 12th. He's back in, 16th, I believe. And Gasly, I don't know. I've never really had much or felt much connection to Gasly, so I really don't care how he does. But Yuki,
I love that. I love how you're just straight up like, you know what, Gasly, who cares? Literally, who cares?
It really doesn't matter to me what he does. It's not going to really affect much, I think, at this point. But Yuki, I would like to actually see put up some points, do a little bit better than he's doing.
A Yuki podium.
Oh, I would lose my shit if Yuki got on the podium.
If Yuki gets on the podium, will you do a shoey? That was
Yes.
our other thing.
If Yuki or Haas get on the podium, I will do shoey.
Well, I think if Haas gets on the podium, we all do a shoey. I think that was the deal from round one.
We do, yeah.
It was
so
the
we're
deal.
all doing a shoey for Haas, but I will, if Yuki gets on the podium this season, I'll do a shoey. If Ricardo gets on the podium this season, I'll do a shoey.
You'll do 2 shoeys. A whole pair. Whole pair of shoes for your Ricardo
One
boy.
is not enough? Okay, fine. I'll do 2.
The season he's been having.
I know. I will be literally over the moon. If Ricardo gets on a podium, whew,
Honestly, I'd do it with you.
I can't commit to any more shoeys. I've committed to so many shoeys and have not been able to give a shoey out.
you pick the unfair ones. You can't turbo Max for a reason. You can't give out a shoey for Max winning for a reason. Like,
Grow up.
if you made a different bet, I would take it.
Make
Keep it
better
interesting.
bets.
Fine, I'll make one up.
Okay. We're all ears. So are our listeners. They're dying to know.
Who do we want to see on podium?
Who do you want to see on podium, Catherine?
Well, listen.
Ask yourself.
The person I want to see on
Okay,
podium
that's
gets
not-
on podium every week.
You can leave. Literally leave.
That's true. We are in Jack's apartment.
This is my apartment you can see yourself up by.
Oh yeah, just go right upstairs because you guys now live in the same building.
All right, so if I'm gonna make a prediction
Dot dot dot.
for the family, aka my brother's favorite driver,
Oh my God.
Latifi.
Yes. Yes.
I'll do a shoey if Latifi gets on podium.
What if Latifi gets points?
Yeah, just points. I feel like points.
Top 10 finish for Latifi. I mean, the man has had no points for like 2 seasons running.
Yeah, but he got into Q3
He just got into Q3. He did not.
recently.
Yeah, and you saw what he did with that. Squandered it. There were 6 DNFs and he still didn't get points.
Okay, fine. If Latifi makes it in the points, I'll do a shoey.
Grid gang. You heard it here first. Catherine will drink out of my stinky, stinky shoe. Just kidding.
That's not what I agreed to.
Also, my shoes don't stink.
Please.
I have very pleasant smelling feet.
I cannot wait to watch you drink out of a shoe. So which shoe are you picking? Are you going to pick like...
Can I pick my own shoe?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you can do your
But
own
like,
shoe.
are you doing like a sneaker? Are you doing... What type of shoe are we talking? I feel like it almost has to be a sneaker. It's not like you can do it out of a high heel.
You can.
Honestly,
That would be kind of cool.
that's kind of a vibe.
It is kind of a vibe. I kind of like that.
You should do
I
it out of a
think you should.
heel.
I think you should. I'm saving a pair of sneakers that I was going to throw out. I saved them. I didn't throw them out during the move because I was like, this is perfect. I plan
Shoey
on-
shoe? You
I have
saved
some-
a
I have
shoey
some
shoe?
shoey shoes, yeah.
I did the exact same thing.
Wait, oh my god, I'm the only one who hasn't said it. I do
How
need
about
to do
these
it.
white ones?
Yeah, those are gross.
First of all, rude. Second of all, I love those shoes. They're very comfortable. They're also not white. I
Glow in
get
the
it.
dark sneakers.
They look okay. So I tried to clean white sneakers I had with bleach. And fun fact, I guess if you bleach the weird plastic part on shoes you buy from Amazon, it makes them look like glow in the dark stars that you would stick on your ceiling. Except they don't glow in the dark. I just look like a loser for no reason. They're incredibly comfy, nonetheless.
I've seen them white twice. The day she bought them, wore them to the airport, and the day she bleached them and wore them to my house.
I'm just not a white shoe gal. I don't know.
You really aren't.
I need to do a closet purge, so I think I'm gonna go through and find a good shoey shoe.
Shoey shoes in the move.
And I have quite a few heels that I don't wear now that I no longer go to the office anymore.
Yeah.
That can be recycled. Or upcycled, one might say, to a shoey shoe.
Upcycled to a shoey shoe.
I love this vibe for
You know, reduce, reuse, recycle. We're so sustainable and green here on Grid Gals.
Yeah.
I think in terms of other predictions we made, I made one that I thought we were going to see 2 maiden wins for different drivers this year. I thought that Sainz and Norris would get their first wins here in 2022. And so far, first half of the season, we did see Sainz's first win.
Yeah, 1 for 2.
Yeah. I would love for Norris to still get his first win. I think it's looking less and less likely as the season goes on. But, again, maybe we'll have one of those weird races. You never know. We didn't think that Danny Rick was going to pull out a win at Imola last year. So,
Agreed.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely plausible that it could happen, but I think a lot of things would have to go right. But great for Sainz. I'm really excited. I'm still a little bit riding that high from his win. It was awesome to see him win.
my very far-fetched prediction in terms of win and or podiums was I wanted to really see a Vettel and Schumacher podium together, and that is completely off the table at this point. More so for Vettel than Schumacher, honestly. Like, I think it's more likely that a Haas would get on the podium than an Aston Martin, which is just rough when you've had 4 World Drivers' Championships under your belt. But, you know, that's how it's looking this year.
But Schumacher did get his first points.
He
So I
did.
feel like
He did.
You're kind of close to that prediction.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, baby steps.
I do think our prediction of it being Vettel's last season might not hold true. I think because he's had such a terrible season at Aston Martin, he's not going to want to go out on that low of a low. I think that he will have maybe 1 or 2 seasons left in him, but I don't know if he would stay with Aston Martin. I think it would have to be with a different team.
Did you hear the rumor?
No, what is the rumor?
Oh, Jack, you're not going to want to
You're not going to like this.
Oh, that he's going to McLaren. I did hear that.
That when Danny Rick's contract is up, they're going to try to replace him with Vettel.
That makes absolutely no sense with their strategy, though. I don't know why they would do that. Not saying that they wouldn't get rid of Ricardo. I'm just shocked that they would take Vettel.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is also why it's a rumor.
Yeah.
I mean, Vettel is a great driver. Like, that's clearly been proven. But, you know, I think kind of obviously different than Danny Rick, because Danny Rick didn't win 4 championships with Red Bull.
Right.
But I think his move from Red Bull to Ferrari was kind of like Danny's move out of Red Bull too, you know? Granted, very different circumstance, different situation, but it was more so, you know, to drive for an iconic team that all drivers love. He took that chance, and that's when Ferrari was in a big slump, and it did not pan out for him. And now that, you know, you're finally seeing Ferrari come up, like, right after he's left, I mean, that kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
he did say that Leclerc is one of the most talented drivers he's ever driven with. And he was like, I am really excited now. He was basically saying, like, I'm not on the team anymore, but I am happy that Ferrari has turned it around for Leclerc's sake. And he was like, I have driven with a lot of talented drivers, and he is one of the most talented I've driven with, and I'm excited to see what he can do now that he has good machinery, which I thought was a very good sportsmanship comment to make, because I think that was a bit of a bitter departure.
Yeah.
But, you know, c'est la vie.
I think Vettel could stay if Aston Martin was going to do better in the future. Like, I think maybe this will just be a rough year with a new car, and then once they have another car that they can copy, they'll do better next year.
Yeah, it'll be the green Ferrari.
Yeah.
How funny to be copying your old team when they weren't even good when you were there. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go to McLaren, but I think that we will see him.
Why are you such a better fan than I am for all my faves?
I don't know. I just support the people. I don't know what to say.
Why are you not a better fan to me?
Catherine, it's just, we gotta send some hate that way. Like, there's too much love.
Okay.
Well, speaking of Ferrari, I had a prediction that Sainz and Leclerc were going to have sort of a divide now that Ferrari's doing well.
That seems to be holding a little true.
Yeah. And I think one of my biggest mistakes was that I put more faith in Sainz than Leclerc. And I don't know why. I've just never been a huge Leclerc supporter, and I think that's changed a little bit over the season.
I think you just love science.
I do really love Sainz. Well, even though I think one of my biggest predictions was that very bold prediction was that Lando was going to win it all. And I think when I picked that, a lot of people made fun of me, and I get it. You know, we're here halfway through the season and bring the laughs on. But I think that Lando can be a championship winning driver. I think that potentially is in his future, but clearly with all the issues with the car that they've been having this season, this isn't the season. Not sure if it'll be next year either, but I think that could potentially be in his future.
Well, thank God he signed a 4-year deal, right?
I mean, of the teams out there, like, it's not a bad spot for him to be in. I think that McLaren's going to continue to get investment, continue to get momentum. I think that it could be potentially a good option for him.
Here's my hot take. I want to see him go over to Ferrari and give Leclerc a run for his money.
Oh!
Because I think he's a better driver than Leclerc.
You think Lando's a better driver than Leclerc?
Yeah.
So you want
I think
Lando
so,
to
too.
boot Sainz out?
Oh, I
think
I
Sainz
didn't think that one through, but yeah.
No, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see Leclerc. I mean, I don't see where he would leave Ferrari for, but if he did leave, let's say, Lando Sainz,
Again.
the bromance reunited at Ferrari.
Any other final predictions today, ladies?
I think I'm all set.
Yeah, I think we'll have to just make our mid-year predictions and we'll post them to our Instagram.
And if you're not already following us on Instagram, you can find us at grid.gals Instagram, or you can visit our website, gridgals.com, for links to all of our other socials. We're also on TikTok and Twitter. And again, please visit us wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review. Hit us up. If you have questions, comments, just want to chat, anything that you want to hear on future episodes, you can also email us at gridgals@gmail.com, and we would love to hear from you.
And that's the checkered flag for this session. We'll see you back here on the grid next week.